Very good evening. Viewers, you know, I don't like to beat around the bush. So I'm going to take a position at the start of this show. The Congress party has scored a laughable self-goal today. Its tweet-a-second, quip-a-minute member of parliament, Shashi Tharoor, has landed in a hot soup. Riding on his western high horse, if you please, Tharoor heaped contempt on India's cultural practices, insulting whole ethnic communities in the north and the northeast and elsewhere who wear headgears. That's right. Shashi Tharoor has a problem with headgears. He calls them laughable. He calls them outlandish. Listen to him.
Why does our Prime Minister, who wears all sorts of outlandish headgear wherever he goes around the country, around the world, why does he always refuse to wear a Muslim skull cap? You've seen him in hilarious sort of Naga headdress with feathers, and you've seen him in various kinds of extraordinary outfits, which is the right thing for a Prime Minister to do. Indira Gandhi has also been photographed wearing various kinds of costumes. But he still always says no to one. Why does he refuse to wear green? It's a color that he says is identified with Muslim appeasement. What kind of talk is this? I remember when Rahul Gandhi was the vice president of the party, Narendra Modi in his campaign speeches would always refer to him as the princeling. And while speaking in Hindi, he never used the Hindi word Rajkumar. He didn't say that Rahul Gandhi is a Rajkumar of the party. He called him Shehzada. Shehzada is an Urdu Persian word, and therefore the immediate opportunity to tie Rahul Gandhi to Muslim appeasement by using a Muslim term.
Now my problem is at two levels. Number one, a very serious debate on secularism today is being lowered to the level of tokenism, topi and tilak. Secondly, the assumption is that Indian headgear is in some way outlandish, laughable, and to use these derogatory terms, which he's obviously borrowed from the worst of English racist colonialists, Mr. Tharoor is actually slighting Indian culture. Now let's take these issues point by point. Mr. Tharoor should know that wearing skull caps doesn't necessarily make people better disposed towards Muslims. Here are hard facts that show despite their pro-minority politics, all this business of wearing skull caps, etc., the Congress has actually betrayed Muslims, not quite helped them. They've even betrayed minorities. Many Congress leaders wear turbans, including Rahul Gandhi, but that didn't stop the Congress from condoning the 1984 anti-Sikh pogroms. For all their love for the Muslim community, for all this talk about upholding minority interests, Rajiv Gandhi opened the locks of the Babri Masjid. They appeased hardliners, betrayed Shah Bano, failed to deliver justice to Muslim riot victims. In fact, Rahul Gandhi, for all his love for Muslims, flexes the Janayu to reposition, rebalance the Congress party. Why does he need to do it? Why does he need to go to temples? Why does his mother need to tell the world that Congress is not a pro-Muslim party? It's been wrongly typecast as such. Most importantly, has Congress forgotten that its own senior leader has accused it of betraying Muslims? You don't believe me? Listen to Salman Khurshid. This is what he said.
हमारे दामन पे खून के धब्बे हैं. हमारी
कांग्रेस
का भी हिस्सा उसे मान लीजिए कि हमारे दामन में खून के धब्बे हैं. इसी वजह से आप हमसे कह रहे हैं कि अब कोई वार आप पर करे तो हमें बढ़कर उसको रोकना नहीं चाहिए.
मैं कह रहा हूँ आप उन धब्बों
नहीं बता रहा हूँ ना, हम ये धब्बे दिखाएंगे कि तुम समझो तुम समझो कि ये धब्बे हम पर लगे हैं, ये धब्बे तुम पे ना लगे, तुम वार इन पे करोगे, धब्बे तुम्हारे लगेंगे.
Salman Khurshid says that the Congress's hands are stained with the blood of Muslims. Wearing skull caps is not going to change that. Now let's come to the second point. The fact that Rahul Gandhi also wears headgear, that the Gandhi family wears headgears, do they wear it because they want to look foolish? No. They do it because they perhaps respect the traditions, at least I hope so. Because certainly Mr. Tharoor doesn't. He doesn't respect, obviously, even his own leader wearing headgear, because he thinks it's hilarious. He thinks they're outlandish. So I want to ask Mr. Tharoor, is the Dumluk headgear of the Adi tribe hilarious and outlandish? Is the pagdi of the Sikhs hilarious and outlandish? Is the Kuwait traditional Assamese headgear outlandish, Mr. Tharoor? Is the tradition in Imphal of wearing headgear also outlandish for him? Is the Assamese Jappi traditional Assamese headgear, as he says, outlandish, hilarious? Is the Gujarati turban, which is traditional Gujarati headgear, outlandish? Are Indian customs basically outlandish? This is not the first time that Tharoor has made disparaging remarks against people here. He talked about cattle class betraying his elitism. Don't forget that. Many such references. Safer to be a cow than a Muslim in this country. Then he went ahead and said, in a very different context, that you had a situation where when he talked about Alwar lynching, there's several of them. He said, look, even a chiller has become Miss World, disparaging of beauty queens. He says, absolutely in cattle class out of solidarity with our holy cows, as if middle class Indians were not to be associated with, sitting in middle class alongside middle class Indians in economy seats is bad. Now, there is a very, very close relationship between what he says and what the British have said. And many people today are bracketing him with British imperialists. Here are hard facts. British ethnographer Herbert Hope Risley divided Indians on the basis of nasal index. In 1871, let's pull out those graphics, Nizam Bhai. In 1871, the British labelled one entire indigenous tribe as criminals. Churchill described Indian religion as beastly. Look at the equivalence here. For Shashi Tharoor, our traditional headgear is hilarious. For the British, our noses put us closer to apes. This is what is most objectionable. This is what is most objectionable. And I want to ask today, all those who are speaking for the Congress, who defend them, what they make of this. And the fact that the Congress still hasn't sort of come out and condemned Mr. Shashi Tharoor or issued him a show cause. What does that say? Let's throw this open. With us this evening, distinguished panel from the Bharatiya Janata Party. We also have others. Let me just quickly introduce our guests here. In fact, I've also got to tell you that some of our guests, a couple of our panelists are stuck in traffic. It's been a busy day. So we'll add them as we go along. But Dr. Sambit Patra here of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Shadat Poonawala, and Ashutosh Mishra, who is a Congress sympathizer, and Shafiullah, also with us this evening, of the JDS. Dr. Patra, I want to ask you the question that Shashi Tharoor wants to ask. Why does the Prime Minister, and in his words, in Shashi Tharoor's words, wear these outlandish headgears but doesn't wear, as he says, the Muslim skull cap, does that make the Prime Minister less secular in your opinion?
See, Rahul, I firmly believe that all these years after independence, the kind of narrative that we had floated in Indian polity was that of a pseudo-secular one. Most of our polity had been revolving around so-called tokenism, as you rightly pointed out, topi and tilak ki rajniti. And I believe that is the most dangerous kind of politics. Until unless you talk about development and you deliver development on the door of the people, immaterial of the fact that which race, religion, creed or sex that citizen of the country belongs to, I believe such kind of narrative is not going to take the country forward. And I'm ashamed that we have such politicians like Mr. Shashi Tharoor, who is a repeat offender. Remember, from Hindu Pakistan to Hindu Taliban, and now saying that we have outlandish kind of headgears. This statement of Shashi Tharoor, though a small statement, but has two very profound meaning. One, it shows the hatred of the Congress party for the indigenous tribe of India, for the indigenous wealth and culture of India, for the rights of people of this country to wear their own tradition, which they have been owning since centuries, is something which is not outlandish. And when the Prime Minister wears that, it is not outlandish, Rahul, it is the outreach that look, together we can and together we will. That's what the message is. And secondly, it reeks of pseudo-secularism. It reeks of tokenism. I firmly believe that it's high time, if it is not by the design of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, then Mr. Rahul Gandhi should speak. I doubt though that it is by the design of Rahul Gandhi. And why I say so, remember previously it was all of those high-flying words in English. But since the day Mr. Rahul Gandhi had that fateful meeting with the so-called quote-unquote Muslim intelligentsia, that same evening we had the Hindu Pakistan jibe, 2 days thereafter the Hindu
so
Taliban
you're
jibe.
linking it.
Yeah,
you think that
it is the design
okay,
of Mr.
Ashutosh
Rahul
Mishra,
Gandhi to float
is this being done to polarize? Is this deliberate attempt to try and curry favor with the minorities by invoking symbolism, an attempt to polarize? Because look, you will agree with me, wearing a topi doesn't really make you secular, does it? ये तो टोपी पहनाने की बात हो गई.
So what has happened here is what Shashi Tharoor said in the same speech. The dog whistle has been blown and the pack has been unleashed on Shashi Tharoor.
No, what dog whistle, sir?
First of all, the questions raised
is this headgear outlandish? You first tell me.
Now, his English is beyond the ken of people who are criticizing.
Okay, so let me ask you, first of all, let me ask you.
Outlandish
let me ask you,
not
beyond the ken.
Yeah.
So you mean to say we don't understand English?
Outlandish
people like me who might be critical of Mr. Tharoor for using these words don't understand.
Outlandish has many meanings and one of them is unusual.
His argument is sounding outlandish right now.
That is
outlandish.
His argument is an example of what is outlandish.
Should we
unusual? His argument is the perfect fit.
And what is the meaning, sir, of the other word that he used? Hilarious?
Maybe he was referring to how the Prime Minister looks in those dress. Because in the same speech...
Oh, so because Nagas look hilarious by wearing that headgear.
Nagas don't wear...
No, what are you trying to say? People who wear that headgear look hilarious?
That's
what you are defending, sir, today?
That's what you are saying.
I mean, are you defending racism?
There's no racism.
Ashutosh Mishra, are you defending racism?
There is no racism here.
This is what
has happened.
No, I'll tell you.
That the real issue he was talking about
is what... I'll tell you. This is what...
That is one
racist white people in the ghettos, in the lowermost ghettos of American society refer to other cultures. Towel heads they call people who wear turbans. This is the kind of language we are today invoking to describe some of our ethnic minorities. And Ashutosh Mishra says, you see, उसकी अंग्रेजी इतनी जबरदस्त है कि आपके पल्ले नहीं पड़ी. His English is so great that none of you could understand it. Shocking.
In the words of
defend
racism,
that he is being criticized.
You are defending racism.
Haramzade, Haramzade is gone. That is the issue that he was raising.
In the words of Ashutosh, now let others also have a say.
Listen to this.
In the words,
these are the words. Synonyms. No, I want to bring out. You talked about. No, maybe I've got the dictionary meaning. Okay, I'll come to you.
Exasperating farrago of distortions and misrepresentations of Shashi Tharoor's statements. He has actually been an Anglophile.
Can you allow me?
Insulted the ethnic tribals of our country.
That's what
he has done.
Out of context.
This is the cultural heritage of India that you have insulted.
Just give me 30 seconds. Okay, outlandish. We were told that outlandish Outlandish, we've misunderstood the word. Listen to this. It means weird. These are the synonyms. Oxford English Dictionary. Synonyms: off-center, quirky, grotesque, freakish, far out. Listen to this. Fantastic, bizarre, funny, unorthodox, idiosyncratic, unconventional, unfamiliar, alien, foreign, peculiar, odd, curious.
If you go to Cambridge, it will tell you that unusual is also a meaning.
Oh my
the Cambridge
God.
University, Cambridge
Tribals are unusual.
Unusual.
Let me play out that line. Let me
on a daily
unusual.
basis.
Yes.
It's not born on a
Our
daily
customs
basis.
are unusual to
English
Shashi
left and
Tharoor.
left to hand.
No. Shashi Tharoor must. 1 minute. 1 minute.
You are more loyal to Queen Elizabeth than even Englishmen
Shadad
are.
Poonawala, 1 second.
He's more loyal to the Queen than even Englishmen are, by the
Give me
way.
30 seconds. Unusual for Shashi Tharoor. Why? Is he Victorian?
Because
No,
it's
is he
not
Victorian?
born on a daily basis.
Does he live in
It's
Iceland?
unfeminine.
No, he lives in
He doesn't
Buckingham
see. He
Palace.
doesn't see Indians wearing
how many-
ethnic
also have
headdress.
hat.
Do you see?
उन्होंने कभी
wearing it on
turban
a
नहीं
daily
देखी.
basis?
For him it's
Unlike a
hilarious
skull
and
cap,
outlandish.
which is born on a daily basis.
Where is
क्या
your
बात
skull
कर
That is
रहे
the
हो?
difference.
आप क्या
You're
बात
not
कर
wearing
रहे
a
हो?
skull cap.
आप क्या
That
बात
is the
कर रहे हो, sir?
difference.
You're making, you're reducing yourself, sir, to a pathetic caricature and
No,
an
because you
apologist
don't want to
for
understand what's
racists.
being said
For
here.
it, I'm.
And
I don't
Rahul,
want
as
to
a
understand.
Muslim,
Exactly.
I have
Okay.
never worn a skull cap, and I don't care about people wearing a skull cap. As a Muslim, I tell you, have you ever
Let
seen
me
in a
bring in
skull
Mr.
cap?
Ilyas.
Pandit Ashutosh Mishra, you are more bothered about skull cap. We want such a committee report. We want Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas and policies. You are talking about skull cap. ये टोपी मत पहनाओ हमको. आप टोपी मत पहनाओ. आप टोपी मत पहनाओ. आप टोपी पहनाने का काम मत करो. आप टोपी मत पहनाओ देश को.
किसको किसे चढ़ जाए वो
Okay,
देखते
for
रहते
Mr. Tharoor, the word is archaic, foreign or alien. Poor Nagas are aliens for him. They are foreigners. Maybe he forgot that they are very much part of the Indian Union. Maybe he forgot that Sikhs are also very much part of the Indian Union. Maybe he sides with the Khalistanis. I don't know. But the fact is, when you suggest that our customs are alien to whom? Mr. Ilyasi, are our customs alien to you, sir? Are they alien to you? Mr. Shafiullah, are our customs alien to you, sir?
Yeah.
Yes?
No, why our custom means our custom. Why it should be alien? Why that question you are asking, Rahul?
I'm
This is not
asking
a question
because
at
do
all
you
to be
also
asked
defend
to
your
the
allies?
Indians. We Indians love our culture.
Yeah.
How? Why? See, our ally may be, see, first of all, there are thousands of headgears in India. I don't think anything is to be insulted. And Mr. Tharoor has not insulted any headgear. If somebody calls
he's
my
also
cap
from
funny,
Buckingham
I don't feel insulted.
Or you don't feel
I
insulted?
don't think it is a matter of insult. One more thing I want to tell you, Rahul. See,
So
our
if you
Prime
were
Minister
walking down,
is the Prime
no,
Minister
if
for
you were
130
walking
crore
down a
people.
street
He has
in
no,
one of the more
he cannot
racist
reject
districts
one particular
and
headgear
pockets of
and accept
America,
other
and they
headgears.
turn to you and they said, "What is
See,
this
if he has
outlandish,
rejected a headgear
no,
by Muslims,
hilarious garb
he
you're
could have
wearing?"
rejected
You would not
all
feel
other
offended.
headgears
You
as
would
well.
laugh with them and say,
Why
"हाँ जी,
he only
हम तो ऐसे
rejects
कपड़े पहनते हैं."
Muslim headgear and accepts all other headgears? अरे कैसे भी पहनी है, it's not funny. See, one person's dress is funny to another person. I don't think it's bad or it's an insult. My headgear may be funny to another guy. I don't feel insulted.
But you don't say.
If somebody calls my
MP doesn't
headgear,
say
about
that.
100 types of caps we Muslims of
Can I
India
come in
wear,
there?
and I don't get insulted.
You don't get
Even
insulted.
all 100 caps are called as funny. Because to another guy it may be funny. I don't think it's a problem.
Rahul, I really
Sir,
Finding something
I
funny is
I'm
not a
very
problem at all.
uncomfortable sitting
But
here
our
and having
Prime
this
Minister, who is
discussion
the
because
Prime
sir, there
Minister
is
of
nothing
Muslims
funny about
also.
racism. Yes, people have different
Why
skin colors.
our Prime Minister
No, 1 minute.
should not have rejected
you see,
Muslim
You see,
headgear.
sir, even people are strange
and
to other
headgears,
people.
He should not have accepted.
There are
It's
people
a clear
in the
bias.
world that don't
And he
look
takes
like all of
vote
us.
Not to differentiate
Should we all
between
stand
any
there
one
and start
person to
laughing
another
at them
person
because
of
they
India?
don't look like us?
Why he should differentiate the
No, and don't we expect them to
accepting
mind?
headgear and rejecting headgear?
No, which world are you
he
living
is the
in?
Prime Minister of all
For
the
years,
people
the
of India.
British said
He is
that our
not the Prime
customs were
Minister of only
beastly,
tribals.
that we were
And he
in
is
fact
also Prime
beastly.
Minister for Muslims of India.
To Churchill,
He
we
cannot
were beasts.
reject that kind. He has
He was
insulted
laughing
Muslims.
at us and we shouldn't
He
take
should not have
offense.
rejected
Why?
headgear offered by Muslims.
No, why, sir?
But I don't get insulted.
You know what has been
because
said about
anybody,
blacks?
It is his choice. He can
Should they not
choose
feel
to wear
insulted?
or
What do you
he
mean?
can
Are you
choose
an
what to wear.
apologist, sir, for racism?
But he, as
Are
a
you an
Prime Minister of
apologist,
India,
Shafiullah, sir,
he should
for
not have
racism?
worn any headgear, or he should have worn all the headgear.
Are you a apologist for racism? I'm asking you.
See what kind of... See, our Prime Minister...
Will you teach your children
my
to
dear
go and
sir,
laugh at
please
other
try to
people who don't
understand.
look like
Our
him
Prime
or her?
Minister, he should not have rejected a headgear offered by one group and accepted the headgear offered
I am
by
shocked
another
today.
group. He
I'm
should
shocked.
have either accepted every
I'm
group's
shocked.
headgear, or he could have rejected
Even
every
if you
group's
were
headgear.
to say that
As
Mr.
a Prime
Modi
Minister of
doesn't
India,
wear the
who
skull
has
cap
taken
because
oath
he
on our
doesn't meet... No,
constitution,
one second.
which
Because he
provides
doesn't
equality
believe...
to all.
Because he doesn't believe that Muslims
You
are
are
worthy
not
of
the
showing
spokesperson for
respect,
Mr.
sir. It
Modi.
doesn't condone the
Why
fact
you
that
become
Shashi
a-
Tharoor
why
has
you become
insulted
his
a whole
spokesperson?
ethnic community. Not
See,
just
as
in
a-
the
as a
Northeast,
subject in
but
India,
also
As an
in
Indian
Punjab,
citizen, I have
others
full right to
who
ask
wear,
Mr. Modi
according
to
to
accept my
Mr.
headgear
Tharoor,
also if he is
outlandish.
accepting another headgear.
No,
Can I
outlandish.
But at the same
headgear.
time, I won't get insulted. He has the, he definitely
You
has
won't
the
get
choice
insulted.
whether to accept or reject.
Sir, I can't speak for you, but certainly if a white person came and described me in the terms that Mr. Shashi Tharoor had described me, I would be very, very upset and intolerant. I would file cases against that person.
My dear
because
Mr.
I am
Rahul,
very, one
every
second, I am very
headgear is
proud,
funny
sir,
to the other
of
person
my
who never
culture
wears
and
the
my
headgear.
skin color. Sorry,
headgear
you may
is
not
funny
be,
to other
you may have a problem, you may be forgiving, good, you are a great man, but I would take great offense if someone passed a racist slur against me. Yes, Dr. Patra.
Rahul, we have
They are constantly making a song and dance about the fact that the Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, doesn't wear a Muslim cap, a skull cap, because he feels that Muslims are in some way not exactly someone he needs to honor.
See, we have two opponents over here, our worthy friends. One of the worthy friends sitting just next to me, he acted as a dictionary and said that he comes from Buckingham Palace and we hardly understand English. So I reject that. So I have nothing to argue with him. As far as our second friend is concerned, his main concern was that our Prime Minister does not accept and wear the skull cap, though he accepts other headgears. I'm astonished that such kind of tokenism, remember it had taken place just before 2014 election also. People of this country do not want to go down that path. People want real development. Second issue is, remember, as far as skull cap is concerned, I don't consider that as a headgear. I don't believe any Muslim would consider that as a headgear. It is an article of faith. It is an article of worship. It is something which they revere very differently, not just as a headgear. Because I would say that many of the Muslims would be offended if I call it as a headgear. But look, as far as our tribal brothers are concerned,
the Prime Minister should have applied
just a second, so let me complete. Let me complete.
Not differently
Remember,
to
this
each
country's
citizen or each
constitution
group.
is absolutely,
If he has
absolutely
rejected
to the
Muslims,
point to
then
state
he
that
could
we
have
have to,
rejected other
we
citizens
have
as well.
every right. We have every
Though
right
I
to
won't
follow
get
our
insulted,
faith,
no Muslim
to follow
get
our
insulted,
belief,
but
and
that's
not
not the
to
way our Prime Minister
disrespect
should
or
have
insult
acted.
anyone else's faith.
Okay.
The Prime Minister has never insulted anyone else's faith. Very respectfully he has declined whenever he has done so. My question to the Congress party is, how long this tokenism and this appeasement is going to carry forward in your political jargon?
Mr. Mishra wants to respond to you. Mr. Mishra.
So as Dr. Patra was saying, that it should be about growth. And when you are unable to deliver on Vikas, how do you divert public's attention? This is the dog whistle that
Shashi
Shashi Tharoor
is
was
not our
spoken
member,
about.
no.
This is the dog whistle that Shashi Tharoor was speaking about. You don't have anything solid to talk about, so you start attacking him on his comments, which are taken out of context. And what was the real issue at that time when he was speaking about the Gorakshak, the attack on the Muslims? They're not being taken care of, they're not being honored by the Prime Minister.
Just 20 seconds. Rahul, I challenge you. You have the visual of Mr. Modi respectfully declining the skull cap. You remember the cleric had given it to him? I challenge you to show that visual, because at that time he accepted the green shawl and he did not take the skull cap. Now those who sit here and say that he showed disrespect to Muslims by declining that skull cap, I challenge you that green shawl also has significance for us, and he has accepted it to show the respect. He may not want to wear a cap, but when the Ujjwala Yojana's the gas cylinders are reaching a Muslim woman, is that more important, or him wearing a cap is more important? Pandit Ashutosh Mishra? Pandit Ashutosh Mishra, when light bulb is, what is more important? Now I am asking you, when I told you one term which is a respectful term, if I heard, outlandish must have heard those terms.
How much? How
does it hurt you? You have reacted by calling me Mia, and that shows your, see how it hurt you? Now see how the tribals must be heard. I have proved it on live TV that Pandit Ashutosh Mishra felt offended, but then outlandish tribals, tribals have been called outlandish, and he has no sympathy for them. This is not correct. This is not correct. You said outlandish is a good term.
I fail to understand. Okay, one second.
I just want to remind you one thing. Remember recently when he had been to Indonesia, Prime Minister, he visited a mosque.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a shawl which was offered to him, and while all that was being shown on the television, the Congress party had openly criticized him, questioning as to why did he go to a mosque. If you go to a mosque, it's a problem. If you don't go to one, it's a problem. If you accept the green shawl, it's a problem. If you don't accept one, it's a problem. See, it is not what Mr. Modi is doing. Mr. Modi's good work and the unemployment, political unemployment of the opposition is what is the pain.
Okay, what are we debating? One second, sir, one second. Mr. Paracha has also joined our debate.
4 years, no progress.
Okay, 1 second, sir. Shafiullah sir, 1 second.
So Shafiullah sir, Mr. Tharoor is not harmed.
Mr. Shafiullah, who opened the Babri Masjid locks? Can you tell me?
My dear Mr. Rahul, how come Babri Masjid lock has got to do anything with the headgear?
I'll tell you.
First of all,
maybe you don't see the connection. You see, sir,
I don't agree
you
with
can
the
wear a
person who has
topi,
offered him
but
the
that
headgear.
doesn't make you secular.
The Islam
Opening
doesn't say
the
to offer
Babri
anybody
Masjid
headgear.
mosque, many Muslims believe, was a betrayal of their community interests. Many Muslims will tell you that.
Mr. Rahul,
many Muslims will say, 1 second,
different issue
when Rajiv Gandhi was asked about the 84 riots, anti-Sikh riots, he justified it. He said that जब बड़ा पेड़ गिरता है तो धरती हिलती है. When a big tree falls, the earth shudders. Now 1 minute.
December 23 and 22nd
that was asked of him.
Surreptitiously, it was
Okay, 1
placed
second,
over
sir,
there
please.
in the midnight.
Okay, please
There
listen
it
to me.
starts.
Shafiullah ji,
Why you
no
are
one
only
would have
jumping to
gotten
the
there
opening of the
had
lock?
the locks not been opened.
No, regarding the headgear.
So please.
First of all,
secondly,
Muslims
large
need
number
not offer
of
headgear
1 second,
or
sir, please.
headgear or shawl to anybody.
Okay.
If he has not accepted, it is his own business.
Okay.
I won't get
Bhagalpur riots
insulted or
offend
any
you?
Muslim won't get
Did
insulted.
Hashimpura riots offend you?
First of all,
Ahmedabad riots
Muslims
offended
did
you?
not
Doesn't offend
offer
him.
that kind
Nothing
of headgear to
offensive.
anybody.
Nothing offensive.
Islam doesn't
Nothing
say.
offensive.
Islam
Nothing
only
offensive.
says Muslims to
He's
wear
a tolerant,
headgear for themselves,
personality
not
who
to
will
offer
take
to
on
others.
every
If
jibe,
he
will
has
never
offered
find
out of
injustice
extra love,
because it's a laughable
it was
matter.
the duty of the Prime Minister
I'm going to take a short break.
respond accordingly.
Yeah,
I
just
just
He should
want to
have
ask Mr.
responded
Safiullah,
a
with
Muslim
respect
guy
and due
who has
love,
offered him
but
the
supposedly
headgear,
in this Diwali
same way he has
I'll
responded to
I'll
other
offer a
citizens of
tikka or
India.
tilak on his head. Will he accept that?
Ask
Out
him.
of love? Will he
Ask
accept
him.
that?
He'll say it's ghar wapsi.
Ask him.
He'll say it's
Ask
ghar
him,
wapsi. You're doing
sir,
ghar
will you
wapsi.
wear a...
Sir, respectfully, if you come to my home in Diwali and I want to apply the vermilion on your head, the tilak on your head, would you apply that? I think you would though, but I would like to listen it from your mouth.
I would.
Mr. Sambit Patra, Mr. Sambit Patra, first of all, I am saying that we need not have to offer the skull cap to somebody else. I have to do it wear myself, not to offer.
So he has both the answers.
The person who has offered the
you
skull
need
cap
not offer.
must have offered with an extra low because all others will be offering their own headgear.
Look, let's not trivialize
Islamic
It's a very serious issue. Let's not trivialize this, please.
I don't
by
agree
making it a tutu meme, please.
skull cap.
Okay, Mr. Shafiullah, look, you speak for yourself. Don't speak for the Nagas, please. Don't speak for the Sikhs. Don't speak for several other tribal denominations who are today upset. Have you seen, sir, the remarks that are being passed against Mr. Shashi Tharoor? Please. And he also apologized to the Naga community. Why would he need to apologize, sir, if he didn't make
Why should not I be speaking to Muslims?
Bizarre comment against them.
How can
now,
you
1
speak
minute.
to everybody about every person? I should not speak. You are not my master. Don't act like a master, Mr. Sambit Patra.
I am
Don't
not
show
even
masterly
speaking, just
attitude.
imagine.
If you show any masterly attitude, I am your master.
No, you are
should not
a
show that
master,
kind of
sir. You can
attitude.
issue a fatwa
Please
also, but I was not
take your
speaking
word
by
for
the
it.
way.
Okay, Masterji,
Don't
one
tell
second.
me I
We're
should
coming
not
out
talk
to
about
you
others.
in just a few moments.
I
We're
asked
taking a
you
short
where
break.
Tika, so he's
We come
annoyed
right
with
back.
me.
No, 1 second. We come right back. I just have a question to ask Mr. Paracha when we return. Should the markers of India's ethnic diversity be mocked? It's a baseline question. And what has that got to do at any level with secularism? We come back to this. Don't go away. Welcome back, viewers. We are in the midst of a debate that only very brave people can say or justify as some sort of a compliment to our tribals and our minorities. Mr. Shashi Tharoor today has used some very unforgettable words to describe tribals in this country and what they wear. He has used the word, and you won't believe this, he has used the word hilarious and outlandish to describe their garb, especially the headgears they sport. Here are some pictures of the Prime Minister wearing with great aplomb this headgear to show off India's ethnic diversity. But for Mr. Tharoor, this is hilarious, this is outlandish, and in fact he says that the Prime Minister shouldn't even sport the turban, which is revered by the Sikhs, because this is an anachronism. We have panelists, you won't believe, who are defending what Mr. Tharoor has said, but more of that later. Let's first play out what Mr. Tharoor has actually said to offend large number of Indians today.
Why does our Prime Minister, who wears all sorts of outlandish headgear wherever he goes around the country, around the world, why does he always refuse to wear a Muslim skull cap? You've seen him in hilarious sort of Naga headdress with feathers, and you've seen him in various kinds of extraordinary outfits, which is the right thing for a Prime Minister to do. Indira Gandhi has also been photographed wearing various kinds of costumes. But he still always says no to one. Why does he refuse to wear green? It's a color that he says is identified with Muslim appeasement. What kind of talk is this? I remember when Rahul Gandhi was the vice president of the party, Narendra Modi in his campaign speeches would always refer to him as the princeling. And while speaking in Hindi, he never used the Hindi word Rajkumar. He didn't say that Rahul Gandhi is a Rajkumar of the party. He called him Shehzada. A Shehzada is an Urdu Persian word, and therefore the immediate opportunity to tie Rahul Gandhi to Muslim appeasement by using a Muslim term.
Now, viewers, the word outlandish, one of our panelists says, is not actually a word that we should take offense to. But let me quickly pull out the dictionary and tell you what are some of the synonyms. It stands for weird, queer, offbeat, far out, deviant, abnormal, ludicrous, preposterous, way out, freakish. Now I want to ask Mr. Paracha, are our tribals the following? Are they grotesque? Are they freakish? Are they deviants? Explain to me, Mr. Paracha. Do you share the words that Mr. Shashi Tharoor, outlandish, has used rather outlandishly to describe our tribals and their customs? Do you share his point of view?
No, I don't, Rahul. I think that is very insensitive of Mr. Shashi Tharoor. But let us come to the real issue now.
No, the real issue.
The real issue
therefore
is this.
That you may wear a skull cap, but you can be racist towards everyone else. Is that the real issue?
Saying.
1 second, Mr. Paracha. There can be no real issue. If you do not agree with Mr. Tharoor, who is today exposed himself perhaps as a closet racist.
His articulation,
who holds the great
was not proper.
1 second.
But what
the
he
great
said has
no,
a
listen
point.
to me. Listen to me.
His articulation may be wrong. So let's
No, it's racist, isn't it? Would you say it's racist?
Is wrong.
Do you think it's racist?
His articulation was wrong. Maybe he
What was wrong about it?
Narendra Modi did
What
not
was
look
wrong
good.
about it? You tell me, Mr. Paracha. Why do you think it was wrong?
But the way he said that it was outlandish.
What is
about his
outlandish?
headgear.
Tell me. What is
No,
it?
that
What
is
does
why
it
I'm saying
denote
it
to
is
you?
wrong.
Mujhe
I am saying
bataiye,
it's
what does
wrong.
it denote to you? Tell
It
me.
denotes that he is insensitive towards the culture, the tribal culture, which he does not understand.
Insensitive. So an
Simple as
insensitive
this.
man is talking about
And
sensitivity.
he does not.
How can an insensitive man, sir, according to you, be talking about sensitivity? How can he be standing on the moral high ground and judging others or being insensitive?
But he has a point.
But that's what
He has a
Prachaji is
point.
also
Let me
doing.
come to the point.
But let me come to the
is
point.
That Muslims 1
minute, just stop there. 1 second. Let's play that bite again. I want us to pay attention to what Mr. Tharoor says to justify his racist commentary. Listen to this. 1 minute. You listen to this bite. Maybe you didn't hear it because he's also misled people. I want us to play this. Let's play it. Play the bite. Play the bite.
Why does our Prime Minister, who wears all sorts of outlandish headgear wherever he goes around the country, around the world, why does he always refuse to wear a Muslim skull cap? You've seen him in hilarious sort of Naga headdress with feathers, and you've seen him in various kinds of extraordinary outfits, which is the right thing for a Prime Minister to do. Indira Gandhi has also been photographed wearing various kinds of costumes. But he still always says no to one. Why does he refuse to wear green? It's a color that he says is identified with Muslim appeasement. What kind of talk is this? I remember when Rahul Gandhi was the vice president of the party, Narendra Modi in his campaign speeches would always refer to him as the princeling. And while speaking in Hindi, he never used the Hindi word Rajkumar. He didn't say that Rahul Gandhi is a Rajkumar of the party. He called him Shehzada. Shehzada is an Urdu Persian word, and therefore the immediate opportunity to tie Rahul Gandhi to Muslim appeasement by using a Muslim term.
Okay. Now, he says that the Prime Minister rejects the color green. Is that really a fact? Let's put out some pictures.
Can I
There.
answer?
The Prime Minister wearing a green shawl, handed by a Muslim, using it to cover a dargah. We have other photographs.
104.
Let's pull out more of those photographs. There is one there of the Prime Minister accepting
A green shawl.
a green shawl. There, let's focus on that. That is with Shehzad Poonawala there. If you can just focus tightly on that picture. There you can see another shawl being accepted by Prime Minister.
But this is a green shawl.
There is a green shawl that the Prime Minister there is wearing. Just point it to the camera, Shehzad Poonawala, please.
This is Prime Minister
there you
Modi,
can see it.
who's
We're going to
wearing
pull out
the
more
green
images of the Prime Minister accepting the green shawl. There you can see it very, very clearly. There it is. So Mr. Tharoor is also wrong. Now, what should we be focusing on this evening? Should we be focusing on the incipient racism that has been betrayed by Mr. Tharoor? Should we be lauding the fact that an insensitive Mr. Tharoor today is criticizing the Prime Minister for not being secular? That's the binary. Which one do you want to focus on, Mr. Ashutosh Mishra?
I want to focus on the dog whistle that he speaks about.
Dog whistle. Tell me which of these two. The fact that a racist is telling another
the dog
person.
whistle here is
What
to
stops him
attack
in accepting Muslim
and
cap as well?
divert attention from the real issues that
Are you
Shashi
calling us
Tharoor
dogs?
was trying
Are you calling us dogs?
was
Has got
trying
anything to do?
to
Are you
raise.
calling us dogs?
The real issues he was trying to raise.
We are Muslims who are saying we don't want the topi
The
like
real
dogs.
issues he was trying to
Are you
raise
calling us dogs?
was about the
Mr. Mishra, after calling tribals outlandish, you're calling us
by
dogs.
not criticizing
What is
them,
this dog whistle?
about
Can you explain
not
what is dog
criticizing
whistle?
all those people.
Who blew the whistle?
The Prime
Did we blow the
Minister
whistle or Mr. Tharoor
encourages
blew the whistle?
these Gaurakshaks.
Well, very quickly.
Okay.
He'll take
Dr.
away his
Patra, one second. Dr. Patra, very quickly.
See, we have to, we should not trivialize this debate. This is
Mr.
a very
Rahul,
profound
please look
statement.
at
He has
this
not
headgear.
only gone
No,
against
but every time anyone who is speaking on this panel in favor of the Congress says, well, you can't run away from the fact that the Prime Minister doesn't wear a skull cap. Now you respond to those people.
My contention is, and my question to all those who are saying this is, for all these 70 years, the Congress leader have been doing only one thing, wearing skull cap after skull cap after skull cap and hosting iftar after iftar after iftar. Did the situation of Muslim in this country improve? Did every Muslim get education? Did they get employment? Did gas chulha reach their homes? Did roads reach their villages? No, sir. Today, if we have double the rate of construction of roads, today if we have 5 crore people supplied with Ujjwala Yojana gas connections, then we have Muslim women being helped, Muslim men being helped. That is far more important than the politics of tokenism.
Okay, appeasement is not the way forward. I need to wrap up. Gentlemen, don't shout. Over me, please. Shafiullah ji, 2 minutes. Just lower his volume. Now, I just want to wrap this up. I need to move on. I need to move on to a very important constitutional issue. But I just want to quickly remind viewers, yes, the Congress's leadership wore topis, but they also opened the Babri Masjid locks. They also, under their watch, allowed for bloodletting in Muzaffarnagar. They also never implemented the Sri Krishna report. They also, which of course pertained to the 1991 riots, in which a large number of Muslims were targeted in Mumbai and other parts of Maharashtra. The Bhagalpur blindings, the Congress could not secure justice for decades altogether for the victims of the Bhagalpur blindings. Most of them were Muslims. The Meerut riots, 1987, under Congress rule in Uttar Pradesh. Let's go to anti-Sikh pogroms of 1984 in Delhi. Even now, Sikhs demand justice. No amount of wearing turbans, no amount of wearing topis is going to change that. Rahul Gandhi, you need to actually act through action. You need to also today punish Shashi Tharoor. At the very least, seek an explanation. Censure him publicly.